office now. I gotta fire you lazy bums. We've got a huge assignment.
Coming, boss.
What you got for us, boss?
Here's the case files. Read it over. Now get out of my office.
Okay, let's see. 1800s, English countryside, scurvy, we've got a job to do. Let's find out who loves who and quick.
Okay, where do we begin?
We begin with Elizabeth Bennet. Files say she's in her 20s, upper middle class, and it's told she'll lose everything when her father dies. But wait, that's odd. The files say she wants to marry for love.
Not money? That's odd. Give me the file. It's rumored that she's in love with Mr. Darcy. It'll be up to us to find out.
Okay, so we know there have been rumors circulating that Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth Bennet are in love. And the boss got a special interview with a witness who says they're really good friends with Mr. Darcy.
I was at Netherfield and noticed the entire night that Mr. Darcy was watching and admiring Elizabeth Bennet. Miss Bingley seemed very jealous as well and tried to get Mr. Darcy's attention all night, yet he only started paying attention to her when she walked away with Elizabeth. I also was told that after Darcy and Miss Bennet parted at the Netherfield ball, he had very intense feelings for her.
Well, it seems like Mr. Darcy has developed quite the crush on Miss Bennet. I wonder if she feels the same way.
Just wait, there's more.
I was told by several sources that Elizabeth Bennet finds Mr. Darcy detestable, and that she's been spending an awful lot of time with a certain Mr. Wickham. I also heard that Mr. Wickham told her that Darcy stole his father's estate from its rightful heir, Mr. Wickham!
Well, that certainly seems like a reason Miss Bennet would hate Mr. Darcy.
I know. Let's go to Netherfield and look for some clues. Look at these scuff marks on the floor. It looks like two people had a rather good time dancing.
These shoe marks must have been from Miss Bennet and Mr. Darcy. Miss Bennet must have obviously enjoyed dancing with Mr. Darcy. Look how many there are.
Bosch said she bugged the place during the ball. Maybe we have some of Miss Bennet's conversations. I hardly know how to suppose that I can be an object of admiration to so great a man.
Well, it seems like Miss Bennet likes Mr. Darcy more than she would like to admit.
I don't think we have enough to make a call.
I don't either. Let's go. We can call Boss on the way back to HQ. Boss, we finished our investigation. Potter and I have concluded that we don't have enough to decide if Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy love each other.
All right, good work, detectives. We'll put it with the other cold case files. Since you've proved yourself somewhat useful, stop by my office. I've got a stack of case files for you to pick up. These cases aren't going to solve themselves.
We've got to get back to headquarters. There's more cases to solve.
Let's go. Oh, when Boss said she had more cases for us, I didn't think she meant this many.
Quit complaining. Let's get to work.
That took longer than expected. This better be good.
Don't worry, Boss. We did excellent sleuthing.
The second case we took on was investigating the relationship between Mr. Collins and Elizabeth. We learned about a conversation in which Mr. Collins proposed to Elizabeth. What makes that interesting is that he is her cousin who will inherit her estate when Mr. Bennet dies.
But Elizabeth turned him down. Personal friends of Elizabeth said she despised the man's arrogance and stupidity.
From that, we concluded that Elizabeth does not love Mr. Collins.
Making this interesting, Mr. Collins soon after proposed to Charlotte Lucas. From that, we learned that he had no interest in Elizabeth from the start. He was only interested in finding a wife.
Well, what about the rumors about Charlotte and Mr. Collins? What did you find out about them?
We learned from a conversation we managed to record that Charlotte does not truly love Mr. Collins. Listen.
I am no romantic, you know, and never was. I ask only for a comfortable home, and considering Mr. Collins' character, connections, and situation in life, I am convinced that my chance of happiness with him is as fair as most people can boast on entering the marriage state.
Wow, that doesn't sound like she loves him at all.
Not at all. Since Mr. Collins is only looking for a suitable wife, we can assume that he doesn't love her either. It has been determined that Mr. Collins does not love Charlotte Lucas, and she does not love him.
Case closed. Next, we investigated the relationship of Mr. Wickham and Elizabeth Bennet.
We found a lot of interesting evidence. Mr. Wickham was heard saying that Elizabeth was the first woman to catch his attention, but in the end, he runs off with Elizabeth's sister, Lydia. Mr. Darcy had to pay Mr. Wickham to make him marry Lydia and prevent further shame to the Bennet family.
In the end, we decided that his love for Elizabeth was outweighed by his greed.
Case closed. An interesting relationship we investigated was the love Miss Bingley had for Mr. Darcy. She is interested in him, but evidence we found along the path they frequently walked showed that Mr. Darcy was not interested in her at all.
Caroline acts cold and rude towards Elizabeth because she realizes her competition. She also tells Darcy that she finds many different faults in Elizabeth.
Caroline is a selfish girl who attempts to stop true love in order to fulfill her own interests with Darcy. In the end, however, Mr. Darcy finds her annoying and is in love with Elizabeth, proving that he does not love Caroline.
Case closed. After investigating the relationship between Jane Bennet and Mr. Bingley, we decided that she is in love with him. We also got a statement from Jane on tape.
He is what a young man should be, sensible, good-humored, and lively.
This relationship didn't go very smoothly. His own sister was plotting against them because she wanted her brother to marry Miss Darcy. But Mr. Bingley loved Jane. He was overheard telling Mr. Darcy, "She is the most beautiful creature I have ever beheld."
Case closed.
What are we going to do with the Elizabeth and Darcy case files?
For now, they'll remain on the shelves until more develops. Then they can be reopened and the love between them can be reassessed.
What you got for us, boss?
I also was told that after Darcy and Miss Bennet parted at Nether Newton Ball, Mr. Darcy's attention all night. What the heck?
Are we in the shot?
Look at these scuff marks on the floor. It looks like two people had a rather good time dancing.
Everybody!